Obviously, Daily Telegraph also carrying on the front the YouTube ban for kids by Claire Armstrong. Very good friend of mine. You'll be surprised to learn.
What
Caleb.
a surprise.
Also a very good friend of mine is the great James Willis, who has the splash, win some, lose more. Green energy contamination concerns on our farms. A scoop by the great man. Farmers in the vicinity of net zero projects fear their land could be contaminated following a shock change to their livestock accreditation, which requires landowners to confirm if their animals are grazing near solar panels and wind turbines. A new question titled Food Safety on Your Property was added to the paperwork, God, this must be onerous, required to be submitted by farmers less than 12 months ago. It asks, do livestock have access to leaking electrical transformers, capacitors, hydraulic equipment, solar panels, wind turbines, coal seam gas structures, or coal mine waste? So it would appear that at the same time as the government is rolling out wind turbines and transmission lines on farms, it's also forced, which I support, which is necessary. I know it's a terrible inconvenience for a lot of people, but it's also then kind of implying with this new question that the livestock shouldn't be exposed to or near these things, or they have to register if it might be.
Well, you know what else is necessary, Joe? Food. And that's what farmers are growing. And if it's now if this is a question that is being asked of farmers, and I suppose at this point it hasn't caused a problem yet, but they're asking this question in anticipation of there being problems.
Right.
And when problems turn up, farmers are going to be up the creek without a paddle when they find out that there will be potential bans and restrictions on meat that comes from steers or whatever that have been around solar panels and wind farms. It'll mean their land is worth basically nothing because it will be able to be used for nothing except a wind farm because, well, if you can't run your cattle on it anymore or your sheep or whatever it might be, then it's not productive land, etc. This is going down a really terrible road.
Well, I don't understand why we're compromising our prime agricultural land when we're sitting on mountains of coal and gas and no one else in the world really cares much. China's building 2 new coal-fired plants every week. Meanwhile, we're shutting ours down and destroying farmers' lives. This does not seem like a fair deal to me. But in the Australian tomorrow, there's a push for tax-free zones to win seats. Westpac Chief Executive Anthony Miller says Labor has the opportunity to win over voters in traditionally conservative areas if it introduces tax-free zones, indexation and expands investment in defence that boost housing supply and economic activity in regional cities. Meeting with Jim Chalmers in Canberra on Tuesday, Mr Miller made a submission to the Treasurer's upcoming Economic Reform Roundtable that proposed GST distribution based on states' investment in regional areas, smoother approval processes, tax-free zones, and the indexation of tax brackets to help younger people own a home and close the generational wealth gap in Australia. I mean, I personally love all of those ideas, but I definitely would not put myself in the Labor Party, and that is the problem. Those ideas are fantastic. Indexation of tax brackets have got to happen. Fairer distribution of GST that actually incentivises states to run things well. Amazing ideas. Streamlining approvals to solve the housing crisis. Wonderful idea. But all economic reforms that Labor, I do not think will be adopting anytime soon, especially tax-free zones. That is an amazing Liberal policy.